Dunu. Dunu? All right, you tell me how to say D-U-N-U. It's either Dunu Zen or Dunu Zen, but this is the Zen, and this is their flagship, and this is a single dynamic, which doesn't need a gemstone in the title, but it's not... Hold on, kicking my table, there you go. But, it needs to be noted, it's $700. So, that's a thing. Linsol sent this out to me. Here it is. And I can tell you right now that it absolutely has a nanoporous amorphous carbon diaphragm coating, which contains the highest ratio of the sp3 to sp2 hybridization carbon currently achievable. And it is deposited via high temperature. So I don't care about any of that. Just put it in my ears and play Outlaw by War. Okay. Great song, by the way. Great headphone testing song. So here they are. You could always tell a dynamic, or at least an expensive dynamic, because it's just fucking round, just round cylinders. And they claim to have the highest magnetic force of like anything ever. And frankly, like it's just, you can touch them together. It's just, you could feel it. They feel angry. There's angry magnets inside of these. Which has a side effect of making them extremely sensitive, which then means they are extremely sensitive on amplifiers. And I made a stack here that isn't normally here. IFI Zen Can on top of the Matrix Mini I, on top of a Musician Pegasus, which is the one that I thought had got a fucky, but so far it's working, on top of a GSX Mini. So we have Mini, Can, Pegasus. And then I had the other ones over here, and I even turned on the Dark Voice, because we're going to test that, because dynamics and IEMs, it's just, you have to tube the shit out of that, just to see. We should already look at it. This mouse pad, provided by Mousepads.com. They were like, hey, we want to send you a mouse pad. And I'm like, do you want to sponsor the video? And like, I don't think we have the budget for that. So giving them a shout out anyway. They sent me like 5 of them. They might change up. They're real nice. It's a real thick one. I just don't know how it's going to, like, I don't know how this pattern is going to work with like this wire across it. Are you all losing your mind? Anyway, link to Mousepads. If you go there and buy it, make sure if there's like a special comment section, like Z sent me, because I just need new mouse pads. I would love new mouse pads every like 3rd week of the first month of the new year. I don't know. There's some interesting quirks and features with these, besides the fact that they sound... the thing is, you're all gonna just want to know, Buzios, how do they compare to the FIO, to the FD5? It is the FD5, right? Shit. I think that's what it was, right? FIO Dynamic 5. Yeah, because that was one I claimed sounded like a vintage set of like old school like Heresy speakers. It was just so far away, and these don't have that sound. They also don't have the sound of the other pure dynamic that is higher end, the OH7, which is ICOs, which those are literally bass murder monsters, like the most expensive sounding low end you could get, or low end anything you can get. And then someone in the last video reminded me, oh, you know, the Tin T2s are also dynamic. And I'm like, yeah, they are. But it's like, I'm not going to compare the $50 IM to like these. This is like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But still, everyone should own a Tin T2, so it's linked in the description. So, can we talk about the wire for a second before I move on? Because this, like, it's one of those wires that I know once I'm done with this review, if I don't use these all the time, I'm going to end up not having this wire to look at. And then it'll make me sad. Because this is it's a different weave than I've seen. It's like 2 at a time. So it's 8 wire, but it's 8 wire, but it's weaved like a 4 wire. And it's this like silver and dark gunmetal gray. And it's so thick and so nice. And it comes to these beautiful machined Dunu connectors. And they're so cold from being metal. And there's a little slider that barely slides up and down the wires. It's so fucking tight. And these they break onto a normal 4. I really, it's sex. These are some sexy ass wires. What you'd expect on a flagship. The actual unit themselves, this is an MMCX. I will not unplug it because then you have to plug it back in. And frankly, when you have a cylinder to hold and you plug on the end, it tends to rotate around constantly. And so I got it in there. We've got a little vent hole on the side. Just very, not super heavy, but like you could tell that's all magnet. There's just a murder. Can I pick it up with this? Can almost pick it up through the heavy duty shell. They actually look like IEMs. They look like old school cheapo IEMs, just like perfect circle, little vent. Nothing else really noticeable about the build. They're understated as hell. What's not understated as hell is when you move to the other end of the wire, and then, well, here we have a 4.4 Pentacon. Or do we? Because Dunu has developed, I think it's proprietary. So they have detachable heads. And so let's gather the units now. News team assemble. So we've got a 3.5 millimeter and a 2.5 millimeter and the 4.4. So you can pick and choose. Some come with 2 wires. Some come with adapters. I know like the Clairvoyance, I think, had the ones that it basically had a 2.5 millimeter wire, and then you had an adapter to plug into that was now a 4.4 or a 3.5. So this is going completely ham, and it's like, let's develop our own little, like, this is a spring-loaded sleeve that when you pull on the sleeve, it detaches this. So what are we plugging into next? We'll do the tube. So it's like the 3.5 millimeter, and it's got the little 4 that line up, and there's a dot on the back of this little Dunu dot, and you line it up with the arrow and you push it on and it goes click, and then that thing slides up, and if you got to pull the wire, it doesn't come apart, but if you pull this sleeve that's moving, then it'll come out. It's very complicated. Is it needed? Probably not. Is it nice? Probably so. Also, I like to mark that all of these are right angle, which may or may not be like what you want, but too fucking bad, you're stuck with it. So I'm going to adapt it now to 1/4 inch. We're going to plug this into the Dark Voice tube. I'm going to plug them back into my ears, which since there's I have Deconi tips in these, obviously. We'll go through the accessories that it comes with. But I want to give you like a good sound impression. So far, I think I like them the most on the Mini I. I may have to see if APOS will let me keep the Mini I here just for IEMs, because it is choice. Ooh. When a tube amp shines through an IEM, my God. Still listening to Outlaw by War. War by Outlaw? Wait, am I backwards? Yeah, it's Outlaw by War. Okay, yeah. That's old. Oh. This might be the most tubable IEM. I haven't tried on every tube. I didn't turn this on, but it's got that. It's got a linearity to it that I think is probably more accurate than the FIO. Just the FIO was wild. I loved it. It was big and spacious and roomy. And this is more like you put it on, and if you didn't know it was a dynamic, it would just be a very good IEM. It's a very good IEM. It's a very good IEM. Oh, it's got lots of low end. Oh, it's a very good IEM with lots of low. Okay, good. Oh, it's got some nice spaciousness. Then you start swapping around amplifiers, which is the bane of my existence. Because if all amplifiers were the same, all DACs, you hit a level and the DAC is good enough. But amplifiers just fucking the bane, because I plug into that one, or 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 that one. And variations can happen to the point where I would not recommend something on this versus I would love to it's a great thing on this. So that's my job, and I can't make a flow chart for you. I'm so sorry. But I can get a good feel for something. And where I thought these might have been like a little bit like, these are the flagships. Okay. They definitely earn their place at the top of, I've never heard another Dunu, by the way. So I'm just going to say yes, they're the best Dunu that I've ever heard. But then you tube them. And all the things that you expect a tube amplifier to do, add width, smooth out the bass, not soften the treble, but like change the placement of things, is exacerbated because I'm running a tube amp into my eardrums. And even though they're super sensitive, like 108 decibel per watt, they are still dancing on this tube amp. No fear. London Grammar's playing. All right, Hem of Your Garment by Cake. I'm going to unplug this by doing that. So I can leave that in place. Let's go back to the 4.4 Pentacon. And we'll plug you back into... No. So this is actually two... I don't know what it is. Like if I plug it into this, I plug it into the Mini I. I'm at negative 25. And it's like, okay, I can get up to like negative 20. And the volume is good. If I unplug this, then plug it in to the Zen can, number one, pushing it all the way in makes the left channel not work. You have to pull it out a little bit. So I don't know if that's... It doesn't happen on any of the other ones I've done with 3 point... I only have like... Did that one, it was a little bit... That was okay. Like, yeah, it's a little bit like... You just got to make sure that the 4.4 is lined up. It's not the connection. It's just the way it's manufactured. I have the output of the DAC, and I'm using the Mini I as a DAC for this. Balanced, by the way, I want to point out. I have to have this down 24 decibels to have this on low gain get to noon without killing me. If I raise this up, the line out on the back of the Mini I, to be a full-blown fuck you DAC, the Zen can on the lowest gain... Yeah, I'll die at 10. I mean, I guess that's okay. It's a lot. It's a lot. They are real easy to drive. So let's pluck 12 decibels off of that. There, I got a little bit more freedom. X-Bass. Of course, X-Bass is doing X-Bass things. I actually don't like what 3D does. If you just happen to have a Zen can or Zen DAC, which is confusing as shit because the Zen DAC has a headphone amplifier and the Zen can is only a headphone amplifier. 3D like sharpens things up. I don't like it. But X-Bass does X-Bass things. So I actually prefer this. This is softer and warmer than this. And these like a soft, warm amplifier. That's, again, let's unplug this again. That is what... Yeah, I have this... I don't know if Drop still sells this. This is a 2.5 millimeter to 4-pin XLR, which I have to use because the GSX Mini, I want to run it balanced, but it doesn't have a 4.4, so I got to use this adapter. And then we're going to go in here, make sure the volume's down, and plug you in. Because this is the ultimate in soft warm amplifiers, almost matching the Singzer. Yeah, no, these are an amp-dependent IM that can deliver... I always want to say that it doesn't matter what the IEMs sound like because you're hearing your amp. That's a thing. That is a fucking thing. It's annoying that it's a thing, but I've heard other people say it, and it's absolutely true. I'm not listening to the Zen by Dunu. I'm listening to a GSX Mini, or I'm listening to a Matrix Mini I, or I'm listening to the Zen Can. Like almost exclusively. It changes so much. It absorbs all of the flavor of your amplifier. Like I ran it on a BTR5. Someone complained in my last IEM video, oh, you're doing this IEM, you don't even have it on a BTR5. Not at the desk. I did that a while ago. I had a couple episodes where I was running. But, you know, I do run these things before the review, guys. It's okay. I tested on fucking everything. The only thing I haven't plugged it into is my vintage Pioneer receiver, but maybe next time. Yeah, I am feeding out of the Pegasus, so that's full line out. And I'm 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 clicks up on the volume. 5 is loud as fuck on low. These are very sensitive. That's why I'm hearing so much difference in the amps. Let's go over the internals of the box. Give me your box, Danu. because I actually do enjoy going through the accessories. We've got a piece of paper that says, designed by Dunu. I would have never guessed that a Dunu IEM was designed by Dunu. I'm so glad they included that piece of paper. We've got what I call the footsie bag, which I just made that up, and I'm probably going to forget it before the next time. But it lets you put the IEMs individually into a little sack that's labeled Dunu, so they don't clack against each other, because they are painted metal, and you don't want them sort of like smashing. So that's nice. We have got a standard wire clip. We've got a little earwax disgusting remover brush. It's very stiff. I kind of want to brush my cat's teeth with that. She'd enjoy that. Tips and tips. We got actual foam tips. I am using, of course, Taconis, because someone also was, they make the argument in my patronage chat, because I do listen to them sometimes, that you need to try all these tips out, Zeos, because it will change the sound of the IEM. And the problem I have is most tips don't fit my ears well. And if I'm not comfortable and secure and you know, familiar with the tip I have, I hate everything that's happening in the whole world. Just fuck it. But babies, punching them. Just fucking Mike Tysoning babies. So if I don't use Taconi tips, I get agitated. The only other ones I like are the elastics. The elastics ones. I'll link those in the description. But again, that's a $40 set of tips that not everyone has and doesn't come with. So it does come with little foam tips. Airplane adapter for, I've never seen one ever. Your standard compilation of normal silicone tips. They're very nice. Then you get this. You do get, actually it comes with its own. I should be using that. I forgot it came with a Dunu branded 1/4" adapter, which is very, very short. Like this is like, boom. Look at that. Look at the size savings on that little thing. Sometimes less is more, ladies. I kind of wish it went over this and made it look complete. But you get that. You got a little Dunu. Presented by... So it's designed by Dunu and presented by Dunu. Here's a cleaning rag that's presented by Dunu. Instructions. And then here's the actual tip case. I've never seen it come like this. That's nice. 6 different types. Well, you got 2 different types, but large, medium, small. Small in the middle, large. They're very nice. It's very nice. I like this. It's not excessive. Like a block of metal, Legacy 4. This is recyclable. Oh, God. And then the case, which I'm not 100% a fan of the clamshell. That's like a wallet. Like it's got the little... It's got a pocket here for putting stuff in for like change. This is like if I became an old lady at any point. That could happen at any time now. So I'm just preparing you all. If I ever become an old lady and it's like, hello, Sadie, I'll give you some change. I could open it up and I would have my change purse to give you my nickels. But I keep a fucking emergency 50 back here in case grandma needs to get fucking lit. So there you go. I prefer if like it opens up. It's fine. I like the case. It's a soft case too. It's not super stiff. Like it feels like a piece of vintage, like a vintage, what the hell's luggage? It feels like vintage luggage. I like it for that. The Dunu is also crooked, just slightly crooked. So it comes with lots of stuff. It feels like a flagship. This fucking wire switching thing is amazing. What amplifier you plug it into? Because if you plug it into, I paused something that doesn't need to be paused. When they are in, all right, I'm having a hard time deciding if I like them most in the Mini I or the GSX Mini, because I like a warm, wide sound, and that's what I get here. Plug this back in. Hold on. And I don't recommend you do this to swap between, because this is not designed for this, but I'm doing it because I'm Zeos. Wow, the bass picks up on the Mini I. Holy God. Ooh, you know what? Yeah, Mini I, because it's got a huge presence. Whereas I said it doesn't sound like the Fios, where the Fios sound like an old speaker sitting over there. These sound like a new giant speaker, not vintage, like a $40,000 triangle speaker with like dual 12s. I just want to listen to it for a while longer. Mob Psycho is playing, by the way, which has got me distracted. I gotta see how this looks in the video playback, in case it's just making you mad. Oh God, the story of Star Wars, the vinyl rip. The more I wear these, the longer I wear these with the amplifiers that I like, the more I realize that these are definitely a flagship and should be absolutely 100% recommended. Wow. I actually hear a noise floor. I actually hear a noise floor, the Mini I. Not there. I gotta do this. I hear there's a blatant noise floor on a GSX Mini. You can't hear the you should not. It's a $2,000 Class A. There might be, but you hear it. Wow, that's not a negative against the IM. That's a thing. That's a positive for these IMs and how fucking insanely sensitive they are. If your device hasn't, let's go to the A90 because that should be like the lead all the way down. That should be the quietest. Oh, I'm sure it's playing. I only get into the point of hearing anything turning this past like 1 o'clock, which would obviously kill you if music is playing. So yeah, my heartbeat's interfering. Noise floor there. Wow. These are fucking sensitive, bro. And that's the thing about sensitive. This is why I'm telling you, yes, I absolutely love these. They sound fucking immense and powerful and clean and modern and would be an actual compliment to the Fios. But whatever you plug it into, be prepared to hear that thing. Whatever that thing is doing, you're going to hear that thing. Let's plug it into one more thing. It's the wrong thing. Oh shit, Project Melody's on Chatterbait. That's not that I had my thing remind me. That's stupid. I would never. I'm not a juvenile pervert. Oh yeah. Noise. One more test. One more test. I just want to see one more. Then I gotta go. The Italian reference HB4BA. Fucking dead silent. Fucking dead silent. And I hear it going click, 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 click as I turn the knob up, so I know it's working. Yeah, these are flagship IM with flagship things and a flagship fucking amount of it's got a normal amount of accessories, but at least they didn't go overboard. They didn't give you the fucking plate of metal in some stupid box. Wait till I get to the Baldar. That thing has got some dumb accessories. Yeah, I highly approve of these. They're sort of like a middle ground between, if you're looking for a dynamic and you have the OH7 in one hand, which is like the bass monster, ha 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 ha, I laugh because it's a $900 like bass headphone and I fucking love it. Or the FIO FD5, which I'm pretty sure it's still the FH5? FD5, no, yeah. Which is the old school, laid back, wide, super wide soundstage dynamic. Tin T2, which is just a starter. This is perfectly in the middle, where it gets all the qualities that you want from a single dynamic. It's cohesive. It's got full bandwidth. I think it's 5 to 40,000 hertz is what it can cover, and at its price point, it sits perfectly in the middle. So it's ideal. It's the ideal dynamic IM. I'll link to everything here. And I hope you guys have low fucking noise floors, because I should probably keep these. Are the most sensitive IEMs I think I have right now. If I could hear noise floors on fucking everything, except for the A90, because the A90 is fucking dead. It's just might as well be dead. It's off. That $2,500 and $700 is good. And the noise floor there, I don't even bother with that. Don't bother. Yes. Links to these. Links to everything I talked about. Links to the mouse pad. Link to that. Since I talked about the mouse pad, I just realized I put a mouse as a background. It was like a color scheme sort of matches. No, bullshit in my brain going mousepad, mouse, done. So join my Patreon, join my Subscribe Star, see reviews early, participate in the yard sales. I'll probably sell something else besides these because I will keep these for just like the test. Like, what do the noise floor and this is like? Everyone asks me for the noise floor. And I'm like, well, I don't really have any sensitive IEMs. Boom. Participate in the yard sales, 1st to 10th of every month. I ship for free, content out to the United States. You have to pay 1/3 shipping if it goes international. So if you're in Spain and you want something, there'll be like a $100 shipping charge. You'll have to pay $33.33 American. And I'll cover the 66 because I'd rather have you as a patron than not participating at all. And then $10 a month gets you in the behind the scenes private Telegram chat where we can discuss all this bullshit all the time on my phone. In fact, my phone's here. How many messages have I gotten on the Lifetime Achievement chat and House Patron? It's only 2 since the time I've made that video. Only 2 people have asked questions. But $10 a month gets you into that. Doesn't matter if you're on Subscribestar or Patreon. Both work for that. And then don't forget to check out Hi-Fi Guides and the Hi-Fi Guides forums. And what else is there? Nothing. Good. I'm glad. All right. I'm going to go set up a thing to go, and you guys just enjoy your time here. Tell me if the light felt like it was too bright. I turned the light up because it's just dark for me, and I thought it was dark on the videos last I've been watching. Also, I might have to change the color setting on this because it might be too poppy. Poppy. It is too poppy.